my channel. First things first, thank you for watching this video. If you happen to get the last upload, which was a general love reading, I was grappling in there with whether or not I should do monthly uploads for each of the star signs, and I'm just going to do it and see how I can manage maintaining it, because I definitely feel like it's something that I need to do. So for today we'll get started with Aries. We'll stick with the fire signs, so I'll upload them in their elemental categories is the word I'm looking for. So we'll do fire signs first, Aries, Leo and Sagittarius, and just bear in mind that these are general readings. These are not person specific. There will be some information that comes through, some of the messages that come through are going to resonate for you, some of them aren't or may not, and that's okay. If you do want a private reading with me, that is something that I provide, and my link will be in the description for my website and other social media, and you can reach out to me at any of those. I also do medium and psychic readings. So I'll be using the Rider-Waite Tarot and the new Mythic Tarot. Just get myself organised here and we'll get stuck into it. So this is a general reading for Aries for March, leading into March. Okay. A couple of cards pop out for you guys already. Just know, guys, I don't read cards in reverse, but the message still comes through. Doesn't mean that I just focus on all the fun and happy stuff, but that's just how we roll. Okay. Let me just have a quick look at these ones and see what we've got coming up here. Okay. Okay, for some of you, the first thing I'm seeing is for some of you, you're obsessing over, there's something coming up, and for some of you, you're aware of what this thing is, this like chaotic energy, this, what's the word? Okay, so for some of you, you've got something that's coming up for you, some sort of chaos overhaul. Perhaps you've sort of gone no to whatever scenario this is and have decided to take the road less traveled, the more difficult path in order to overcome what it is that you don't want, to receive what it is that you do want. You can it's almost like you're seeing ahead into the future, and you're like, if I take the easy road, I'm going to end up exactly where I am at the other side of this. If I go and do exactly what it is that I'm feeling is the opposite to how I would normally handle this situation, and take the road that's going to be more difficult, it's almost like you can see at the other side, once you get past that, it's going to be worth it. But for some of you, you're definitely obsessing a little bit over this situation and making that step. It's sort of like you've got an internal dialogue going over and over and over again. Do I, don't I, do I, don't I, do I, don't I? And you know, for those of you that this is relating to, you know, within that, you just have to bite the bullet and go with it. And you definitely can feel that. I do see that there is another person involved for some of you in this situation that is kind of holding you back. Perhaps they're sort of like, you've confided in them about this and you're like, look, I'm not going to keep going about this situation this particular way. I'm just going to go nuts and do the opposite of what you would normally do. And you've extended this information to a confidant, a friend, somebody in your life, and it's almost like they're kind of, they're planting doubt in your progress and in how you feel you should handle this situation. It's almost like they're saying to you, oh yeah, like, you know, why don't you just do it? You know, you've got the more difficult path or you've got the easier path, and it's almost like, why are you doing it that way? Why don't you just do it like this kind of thing? And that's sort of planting doubt in your plans, because for you, a lot of you, your mind's already made up about this. You're like, I'm doing this, like this is what I'm doing. But it seems like this person that you've confided in about it, like, okay, I'm going to make this decision. It's going to send my whole life into chaos for a while, but this is why I'm doing it, because I want to get to this stage. And it's almost like they're planting doubt in your planning. Their advice, I don't think that their advice is coming from a place that's for your benefit. It's more for their benefit. They don't want you to take this leap of faith. They want you to stay put for their own reasons. So, and you know this, you've confided in this person, and you've expected that their response will be that of, not so much praise, but that of, what's the word? Like encouragement. You sort of anticipated that they would be a bit happier for you. It seems like in the past this person has perhaps almost persuaded you to make this decision in some way, shape or form, like leading up to the point where you've actually decided to do it. They've sort of been encouraging you in a way, like, you know, you should do this, just, you know, bite the bullet, go about it like this, do away with the crap and make way for the new. You know, they've really encouraged you. But now that you've sort of done that and you've grown the balls enough to take the step towards actually taking on their advice and making the change, it's almost like they've shifted and they're sort of like, oh shit, they're actually going to do it. I don't want them to do that because that affects me in this sort of way. So their advice and their guidance for you with this isn't necessarily for your benefit, isn't going to help you. Okay, let me just have a look here. For some of you, this does and for a lot of you, I'm picking up that this is a work-related situation, and perhaps this person that is sort of holding you back is in the same situation as yourself, and their advice that's been coming to you for you should do this, you should do this, is, you know, that saying where it's like you should take your own advice. They're giving you the advice that they want to hear for themselves. They want to make the changes that you've decided to make. So I do feel that for a lot of you in this situation relating to work, you've made the decision to move forward and they're still stagnant, and they're a bit jealous of you for that reason. That's probably why the advice that they're giving you isn't to guide you forward, it is to hold you back, because it's like they don't have the guts, or they're not in the place in their life where they're ready to make that sort of a drastic change for themselves. So they're sort of envious of the fact that you're even willing to do it in the first place. Let me just see what we've got here. And in relation to this person, I am seeing you know, a fire sign energy relating to this situation. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay, let me just have a think on this one here. I do see that once this situation is dealt with, once you've sort of, for some of you, this person that's been giving you the advice, you're going to look at the friendship from a whole new perspective. You're going to reevaluate the trust that you've instilled in this person. You may begin to shift how much it is that you confide in them, and query whether or not you can even trust them moving forward. And I do see for some of you, the sort of, once it is that you've overcome this and you're moving forward, the relationship may fizzle out to some extent, because I think you're just going to be in two completely different places. For a lot of you, this person that we're dealing with here is somebody that you sort of not idolized, but you very much respected them, and the relationship that you had together. You did have a really good relationship, but this has sort of changed your view and perception of the person that you thought that they were, or thought that they are. And after this sort of happens, it is going to take some toll on you. Like, you already know moving forward that it's a big change, that it's going to take a lot of time and effort. You know that it's going to be worth it in the long run, but you're going to need a little bit of R&R afterwards, because it is going to be quite an emotional roller coaster. You are going to be faced with moments throughout where you're doubtful, you know, am I making the right decision? Which is another reason why you're torn from even telling and confiding in this person, because you know that they're sort of only going to focus on the negative. So if you're having a rough time with the decision, and perhaps everything doesn't work out exactly how you thought it might work out, and you hit a couple of bumps and hurdles along the way, this person's almost going to rub it in your face, and not make you feel good about the decision that you've made. So I definitely feel like hold back from confiding too much in this person in regards to this situation. And then the relationship might heal itself down the line once this is all done and over with. But I do feel it will somewhat feel, for some of you, like it's the elephant in the room. Like, you know, your friendship will go, possibly for some of you, not for all of you, the relationship can continue after this, but it's going to be like the thing that you don't talk about, and the relationship won't return to the same grounded level of trust that you initially had prior to this. And that's not a bad thing, like, not at all. But yeah, you're definitely going to need time once this is done to really take a bit of time for yourself. I do see once the dust has all settled from this, and once you're sort of on the other side of it all, things are just going to settle down. A weight's going to be lifted. I can just feel my energy sort of relaxing more and calming more, and you're just going to feel so much more happy with the decision that you've made, in knowing that it was the right decision to make. I feel like for some of you, this conversation may have come to you, or this realization for how to go about this may have come to some of you in a dream. You've sort of been grappling and really focusing, obsessing over this situation. You know, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Like, show me what I should do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And it seems like for some of you, you've based the decision with how to move forward over this situation from receiving messages via your dreams. I see for some of you, I don't know, in relation to those of you that are overcoming this obstacle, and it's to do with your work environment, perhaps changing jobs, or dealing with a situation that's going on in the workplace and sort of tackling it head on, whatever the situation is. for a lot of you, you're going to come out at the other side with others involved in the situation really looking at you from a new point of view. There's going to be some in this situation from, you know, at a higher level of authority that are really going to look at you. They're really going to look at you almost as somebody that's really courageous, somebody that's willing to take chances. This is going to be a very good move in terms of you career wise, because it's going to show other people perhaps the leadership skills, perhaps the dedication, the passion, the ability to make positive changes for yourself in certain situations. And that's going to be really endearing. That's going to be really seen as valuable behaviors and valuable personality traits for some people in this environment that aren't necessarily even involved with the actual situation at hand up front. This could also be for some of you, if this is relating to I get the impression that with some of you, your significant other is sort of, may even be the person, this Three of Wands energy, that might be holding you back somewhat. It could be your significant other. So you've sort of made a decision to, perhaps you're working, you know, you're doing the 9 to 5, you're working the hard grind, you're not really feeling it. And you're like, I'm just going to stop doing that and I'm going to start doing this. For some of you, I see new businesses involved with this situation, and your significant other or your partner isn't as supportive of the situation as you thought they would be, and you're definitely supportive of them. You've been supportive of them. They've made similar changes in their life during your relationship, and you've supported them through those. Whereas with you, it seems a little bit more like the feedback isn't too great. But they're definitely going to look at you once this is over and you've put in the time and the effort and the work and the grind, and you're starting to see progress. They're really going to change their perspective of the situation, and they're going to let you know. They're not going to hold it in and resent you for achieving what it is that you set out to achieve, even though they may not have been so supportive of you. They're definitely going to let you know that they were wrong to think that this was something that you couldn't do, and that they're almost embarrassed that they didn't encourage you with this situation moving forward. I do see here that however you address this situation and you overcome whatever the obstacle is, I definitely see that there's financial gain to come about from this situation. I just want to get a little clarity here on this Knight of Pentacles situation. For some of you involved with the changes of business situations, I do perhaps see a third party coming in. Perhaps this is something that you thought you were going to do by yourself, but I'm definitely seeing here that there is potential for a partnership. Again, somebody's sort of watching you from the sidelines, see how you're going about this and rearranging and adapting, and they're really looking at this like this is something that I could be involved in. This is something that I could help progress and move forward. And you're definitely welcoming this introduction of this new person, this new energy. For some of you, I'm hearing... For some of you, I'm really seeing that you're it's almost like you're not putting those around you and not treating those around you how you want to. For some of you, I'm definitely seeing that there might be drugs, drinking, you know, some sort of substance abuse situation here where you're sort of prioritizing that against what it is that you actually want. For others, I'm definitely seeing for some of you that there is like a new romance picking up here. At the moment, it's definitely not something that you are considering to be a long-term thing. It's very much a lustful, passionate sort of situation, what's going on here. For some of you, this is a third-party situation. For some of you, there's a little bit of trickery going on. You might be the trickster, you might be being tricked, but there's definitely a third-party situation for some of you. Some of you are afraid that some of this is going to come to light. I can definitely see here that if it's almost what I'm hearing is, you know, if you don't do something about this, I'm going to do something about this. I feel like whatever this situation is, whatever this third party situation is, I feel like you've been taken along for a little bit of a ride and you've let this situation go on for longer than you wanted it to. But now it's got to the point where initially you were kind of like, this is okay, this is done. With the developing of some new information here, and it seems like feelings have definitely grown deeper and stronger, and you're not willing now to leave it as it is. You're now like, okay, something needs to be done here, and you are the one that's going to have to do it. It's almost festered into a sort of a obsessive situation. You know, you're stressing about the outcome of this in your it's almost like your intuition is telling you that it doesn't matter whether you get what you want from this situation or if you don't, either outcomes aren't going to be great. It's not all going to be peachy. It's going to be really like there's going to be a real struggle with this situation, with this third party situation. And you know this already. You know that it's not going to be easy. But it's what you want. It's almost like you've gone, I don't care how hard it's going to be. This is what I want to have happen. And in relation to this third party situation, you're worried about the what if I'm not, it doesn't work out in my favor. What if I'm the one that's left stranded and I have to pick up the pieces by myself? That's sort of what you're worried about with this situation. But it's almost like you've decided that, like, that could either way, like, you know, either way it's not going to be a great end result. But you've reached the point where it's just like something needs to be done, something needs to happen here, something needs to change. So I'm willing to sacrifice that outcome, the positive outcome, for how I view this situation. But I definitely see that for some of you, the situation is very different, and you've sort of taken a step back from friends, family. You've really sort of gone within, and you're working within to try and you're just spending time with yourself. You're doing some real soul searching, and you're really seeking guidance from like, you're really seeking guidance from those that are in your excuse me, from those that are within your realm, to sort of refocus. Like for some of you, you're quite outroverted and you've really gone within, and it's almost like your personality has changed overnight. That's how those that are in your community sort of are viewing this situation. You've sort of really gone within and you're just taking time to be by yourself, and this is very different to who you normally are and your usual personality and how you go about things. But for some of you, you're really relishing in that time and space, and taking that time for just yourself. I do want to say though, for some of you that have really gone inward and are taking that time for yourself, for some of you, just don't spend too much time by yourself. That's what I'm hearing here. So if you're starting to resent the connection with other people, if for some of you there's been like a recent breakup situation and you've wanted to take that time for yourself to heal and to work through, you know, the normal emotions of a breakup. But what I'm seeing here and what I'm hearing here is, for some of you, you definitely don't want to do that for too long. You know, while it's good to take that time for yourself and, you know, experience again what it's like to be with yourself, it's also good to remember that there's those around you that care about you, and the process of healing through discussion and conversation with these people is just as important as the healing that you can get from taking time for yourself. I definitely see for some of you by the end of March, whatever this sort of change is that goes on at the start of March, whether it be work related, you know, taking time for yourself, a breakup, different situations, by the end of the month you're going to see that everything that you've sort of gone through until that, making it to that point, has been worth it. And it's almost like you can start moving into April with a really sort of like a clean slate. Like the weight's lifted, and things just start to appear clearer for you. You're happier about, you know, moving forward. You're happier about when you wake up every day. You're more positive. For some of you, they're saying to pay attention to like water systems, specifically shower and bathroom. For some of you, I can see that there's going to be a little bit like it's like there's a flood in there or something. Something's broken in the bathroom. So pay attention to that. It's like one day you go to turn the tap on and it doesn't turn on, and then in the next minute the bathroom's flooded. Okay, I'll leave it there for you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for likes, comments, your subscriptions. I really do appreciate it. Is that it? I'll leave a link in the description box for my other socials. Do check out the general love reading I've just put up. I'm just going to put up a general love reading for every month, just in general. I'm not probably going to do the signs just yet, but this is just me thinking out loud. Who knows, this could all change overnight. I wasn't going to make these videos either, but yet here we are. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you can I hope that you get something from watching this video. I hope that these messages resonate with you, and thanks again for watching. Okay, bye.